So the film begins with a Korean novel called 3 Ways to Survive the Apocalypse. This wasn't just any story. It was a very long novel that had been running for 10 years and had over 3,000 chapters. At first, many people read it, but because the story was so long and hard to follow, people stopped reading. Eventually, only one reader remained until the very end. His name was Kim Dokja. Dokja was a simple, lonely man. Since childhood, whenever he faced problems like bullying in school, trouble in college, stress at work, this novel gave him comfort. The story was about a hero named Yoo Jung-hyuk. Jung-hyuk had the power of regression. This meant that if he died, he could go back in time to save the world again. Dokja loved this story because Jung-hyuk's struggle gave him the courage to endure his boring life. The day the novel ended, Dokja was on the subway heading home. When he read the final chapter, he felt sad because the ending was tragic. Only the hero lived and everyone else died. Dokja was so angry that he left a comment for the author, calling the ending terrible. Surprisingly, the author replied to thank him. He also said, "You are the reason I finished this novel. Thank you. And if you don't like the ending, you can write your own." Dokja didn't understand what he meant. But then, at 7:00 p.m., the train shook and the world suddenly changed. Lights flickered and phone signals died. A voice announced that the free service had ended and the paid service was starting. Everyone was confused. No one understood what was happening. Suddenly, a small creature appeared in the air. It called itself a dakibai. Dokja recognized this creature from the novel. The dakibai told the scared passengers that their peaceful lives were over. Now they had to prove they deserved to live. They all thought it was a joke. To prove it was real, the creature exploded a man's head nearby. This caused panic on the train. The dakibai said this was not a joke. Gave them their first mission. "In the next 10 minutes, kill any living thing here, just one living thing. If you fail, I will kill you all." Some people froze in fear. Others began killing each other to survive. The only calm person was Dokja. He realized this was exactly how the novel started. Since he had read the book and this reality was linked to it, Dokja knew everything that would happen. He knew the mission was simply to kill a living thing, not necessarily a human. Dokja saw holding a box of insects. He quickly went to the boy, took the box, killed an insect, and gave some to his coworker standing nearby. Dokja was the first person to complete the mission. The system announced Dokja earned 300 coins. It turns out, coins are money in this world. People can use them to buy items and power to protect themselves. Suddenly, Dokja noticed that people had stopped killing each other, but there was one boy who was attacking an old woman. Dokja realized this was Namwoon, a crazy character from the novel. Dokja wanted to save the woman, but he was too weak to fight Namwoon. Then he remembered that he could buy anything with coins, even strength. So he opened his status menu and used his coins to increase his strength stat. Suddenly, his body felt light and powerful. With this new power, Dokja easily beat Namwoon. Then, to save the old woman, he gave her an insect to kill. But she couldn't do it in time. Dokja's coins increased, and the timer hit 0. It turned out that only Dokja, his coworker, and the little boy passed. The system killed everyone else instantly. The train was full of bodies. The dakibai returned, happy about the bloodshed. He explained that the constellations and the stars were watching this like a TV show and enjoying it. The train stopped on a bridge, and suddenly a giant monster jumped from the water and destroyed the bridge. Everyone fell to their deaths. But Dokja and the survivors forced the train doors open, grabbed the boy, and ran across the broken bridge. They thought they were safe, but the danger wasn't over. The dead passengers turned into zombies and chased them. They thought they would die, but then Dokja looked back. Jung-hyuk, the novel's hero, was fighting the zombies easily. When Jung-hyuk saw Dokja and the others, he was shocked. He was a regressor. He had lived this life before. He remembered the past, and nobody ever survived that train, so he grabbed Dokja and held him over the bridge. Below, the sea monster waited with its mouth open. Jung-hyuk asked, "Who are you? How did you survive?" Dokja couldn't tell the truth, that he read it in a book, so he lied and said he was a prophet who could see the future. Jung-hyuk said, "If that's true, use your power to survive this." Then he threw Dokja into the monster's mouth. Dokja landed in the monster's stomach. It was pitch black. Acid began to rise, which would burn him to death. But Dokja wasn't scared. He knew the dakibai had a hidden channel here. He called out, "I know you want a good stream." For the viewers, "I'll make this interesting so people keep watching and you'll get lots of coins." The dakibai agreed but wanted a share of the profit. Dokja agreed. So Daksha got some coins and used them to buy a weapon made of horn. He killed the monster from inside. He then cut his way out of the stomach. He escaped alive and earned a lot of coins and items. He traded the items with the Dakibai and received a skill called Unbroken Faith, knowing it would be useful. He then put on a mask to hide his face and went to the nearest safe zone. On the way, he saw thugs attacking a woman. He recognized her as Hee-won, a character who died early in the novel, but he decided to change the story. With courage and his new power, he beat the thugs and saved her. Hee-won thanked him and decided to follow him. Together, they arrived at a station where other survivors were gathered. However, this station was run by a bad man. He pretended to help everyone, but he was actually using them. He sent weak people out as bait for monsters to earn coins. Daksha knew this man was evil. When the man tried to recruit Daksha and asked for his coins, Daksha refused. The others thought Daksha was selfish, but Daksha didn't care what they thought. He knew that he had to break the system to save them properly. If he gave them coins now, they would die in the next level anyway. Daksha told everyone that he wouldn't give coins, but instead he would open the escape tunnel for them. Daksha formed a small team. His team included a soldier, Hee-won, his coworker, and himself. The little boy with the insects also joined, as he could talk to bugs. Daksha knew the boy would be useful. They went down into the dark tunnel, where they found a demon monster called the Ground Rat. This battle was dangerous. The monster used a poison that made them hallucinate and get trapped in their worst memories that haunted them. The soldier remembered failing to save his army unit. Hee-won saw the thugs again. Everyone froze in fear, but Daksha had a skill called the Fourth Wall. This skill protected his mind from emotions. He didn't feel the fear. He shouted and broke everyone's hallucinations. The team woke up and fought back. Daksha bought white pure star energy, which made his weapon glow. He and Hee-won attacked the monster and killed it. After winning, they found a treasure chest with weapons. Everyone took a weapon, and Daksha took a broken sword handle. Everyone thought it was useless trash, but Daksha knew it was valuable. The Unbroken Faith skill he bought earlier was for this. As soon as he used the skill on the sword, it turned into a blade of light. Lightsaber that could cut through any enemy. After the mission, they returned to the station and exposed the evil leader. Hee-won, who had been hurt by the bad group, was angry. She killed the evil leader and freed the survivors, but there was no time to rest. They had to go to Chungmuro Station for the next level. When they arrived at Chungmuro, things were bad. The mission was Green Zone. To survive the night, you had to stand inside a green square, but there were too many people and not enough zones. A landlord character had taken control of the green zones and was selling them for coins. If you couldn't pay, the monsters would kill you. Here, Daksha met a high school girl who said she was a student of the hero, Junghyuk. She said Junghyuk had already left to fight monsters. Daksha had a plan. He didn't want to fight the landlord yet. Instead, he offered him a lot of coins to rent a room. The Dakibai, seeing this, made the game harder. The constellations watching wanted more drama. So, the Dakibai reduced the number of green zones. This was a trick to make people kill each other. People panicked because the monsters attacked as the zones disappeared. This was unfair. Daksha realized the way to survive wasn't to fight for a room, but to destroy the room. If the zone was gone, the rules wouldn't apply. But this was risky. The idea was dangerous. He looked at the monsters, he thought. If he killed the boss monster, the scenario would end quickly. But the boss here was a terrifying dragon. In the original novel, this was where the hero, Junghyuk, often died and had to restart his life. Daksha knew that if Junghyuk died here, the world would reset and Daksha and his friends would disappear. Therefore, he had to save Junghyuk so they could finish the story. Daksha and his team entered the arena. They saw Junghyuk fighting the dragon. He was fighting alone and losing. The dragon was too strong and Junghyuk was injured. He was about to give up and restart. But Daksha shouted, "You can't give up, Junghyuk." The dragon breathed fire, but Daksha used an item to absorb the fire, saving himself. He attacked and called his friends to help. Trusting Daksha, they attacked perfectly. The soldier blocked the dragon's attack with his shield. Then Daksha's coworker tied the dragon with magical threads. Then the high school girl jumped on the dragon, trying to stab it. Junghyuk stood watching. He had given up, but seeing them fight gave him hope. He stood up, picked up his sword, and joined the fight. Daksha knew that the dragon's core was in its chest. To kill it, they had to break the core. But Daksha knew that breaking the core causes a massive explosion and the person who breaks it will die. In the novel, the hero always sacrificed a friend, but Daksha hated that ending. He wanted to change it. He decided to be a better hero. He would sacrifice himself to save his friends. That is what a true hero does. He ran towards the dragon, stabbing his blade of light into its chest and breaking the core. The dragon roared, and a bright explosion covered everything. Junghyuk watched in shock as Daksha disappeared into the light. The dragon turned to ash and the level was cleared. After the dragon died, they should have been happy, but everyone was sad because they thought Daksha was dead. The team started to cry, but then the dust settled and they saw Daksha walking towards them. He was alive. The secret was that he had a special skill called King of No Killing. This skill allowed him to come back to life once after dying. Junghyuk stared at Daksha. This man was a mystery. He wasn't in the original story. This man was better than him. This boy knew the future and didn't sacrifice his friends. He sacrificed himself. Daksha knew the game wasn't over yet. The next levels would be harder, but he knew that with this team, they would win. The movie ends here, showing Daksha and his group together.